Hey guys, John and Casey here from Trustworthy Home Advice with a slow draining bathroom sink, and we're going to walk you through how to fix it. So here we are at our slow draining bathroom sink. As you can see, water's running and it's not draining, and that's a problem. This sink used to drain very well, but now it doesn't. So really, it can only be one of three different things. It's either most obvious, a plug in the drain or the P-trap. That's the most obvious thing, and it's probably that. The other thing it could be is that the stopper, which has a mechanism down inside the drain, which raises and lowers that stopper, that could have become disconnected, or it could be just misaligned, and it's just not opening the stopper far enough. Or third, and most significantly a problem, would be that it's not vented properly. That's not the case here. It's a newer house. That could be the case in older houses, but here it's not the problem. The sink used to drain fine, but it's not now. So let's walk you through the best way to fix this. Okay, so now let's talk about how to go about fixing the slow draining sink. The first thing we could do is we could get KC to lap out the sink every time you turn the water on, but that would take too long, and she got to pee all the time, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is obviously plunge it. So when you plunge a sink, the proper way to do it, you have to make sure you have enough water in the sink to create a little water seal. Make sure the drain is open. You're going to run the water. We're going to slowly push the plunger down so you don't splash all around. And you'll feel that seal. And if things are going right, you'll start to see some debris come up from the drain, as you can see. If you get closer here, you can see some of the plug. It looks like there is some stuff in the drain. Looks like we're making progress. And we're pulling crap out of the P-trap there. So it looks like that may have been the problem. So we'll see if it drains a little faster now. That stuff should then move through the drain by itself. We'll see how it drains now. Okay, so we plunged it. It's draining faster, but not really fast enough, so we're going to go through the other things that it could be. So first thing, we'll put the plunger away. It's a cool little plunger. We then do a little housing, closes up. If you want one of them, I'll leave a link in the bottom of the video. So the other thing it could be, as I said, it could be a plug in the P-trap or the drain. So the first thing we'll do is take all the stuff out of the bottom of the cabinet to get easy access down there. Move this out of the way. And under here, you can see the P-trap. Okay, so we plunged the sink, we got some debris out, but as I said, it could be a number of other things too. There still could be a plug in the drain or some debris sitting here in the P-trap. This P-trap, this low part of the drain here, is where water will lay to create a little bit of a water seal so that sewer gases won't back up from your sewer and back up into the room. So we're going to take a look to see if there's any debris in the P-trap, and then after that we'll take a look to see if the stopper is moving up and down far enough.
What the dog doing?
Okay, so we're under the sink now. We're going to remove the P-trap. There's really three things to take off here. We'll loosen this piece here, this piece here, this piece here. You'll see this will pull out. You kind of work that out and rotate this over. And we'll see if there's any junk in there. And yeah, so look, we have some debris in the P-trap. Still water in there. I did put a towel down to catch any water. It looks like we have a little, there's some junk coming out of there. I think we have a little hair. There's some crap up there. It's plugged. It's really plugged. Okay, so we took a few more drawers out, get a better camera angle. I took the P-trap off, as you saw. The P-trap is relatively clear, so this isn't the problem. So we're going to take a look at the straight drain down here. And as I can feel up in there is a plug up in there we're going to have to get at. So to take this straight drain off, we have to disconnect the plunger mechanism here from the drain, and that's connected to this little down rod with this little clip. So we basically just kind of push this off, disconnect that, then this is free to rotate. Take this off. That's the plunger mechanism. Okay, as I rotate that straight drain, you'll see that the the flange here on the drain inside the sink is moving. So you gotta have a hold of that so that you can unscrew it completely. And I'm having trouble. There we go. Okay. So you want to stop that from turning. And then you unscrew this straight drain straight out. And I can tell, oh my goodness, take a look at this. There is a massive plug of hair in that drain. Okay, so we're going to pull this nasty plug out now. So if you look at this, that is a plug of hair and all kinds of crap. We're basically going to pull that out. And there you go. That's what was plugging the drain.
Oh no!
That is some really nasty stuff. Okay, so we're going to throw that out. And you'll see here, if you get closer in here, this is the plunger, which is kind of nasty too. So we're going to go up top. We're going to take that plunger out all the way, and we're going to clean that too. So a lot of buildup, and you can see over time, this sink is probably 4 years old. Actually, no, less than that, probably 3 years old. That amount of hair and buildup occurred over 3 years. Okay, so we put over to the other sink, which drains pretty good. We're just gonna clean some of this nasty buildup off. I'm gonna plug up this drain. Okay, since we have the drain now, we can't turn the water on. So we're gonna just kind of clean this up a little bit, get a lot of this debris out, and then we can start to put the sink back together. So the stopper that we cleaned off, we're gonna just kind of drop that back down in, and we just go reassemble everything in the opposite order that we took it apart in. Okay, so the plunger, if you remember, it had a little hole in the bottom of it. This little rod fits through that little hole. This ball moves once you screw it back in to move that plunger up and down. We're going to put that back in, make sure that plastic piece protrudes through the hole in the plunger. Put this back in. Okay, and to test it, we'll look up top. I'll move this rod up and down, and if the plunger is moving up and down, is it? We have it connected. Okay, so we screwed the straight drain up into that flange assembly, and now we have another nut here which we can tighten up to compress the gasket here on the bottom so that the sink doesn't drain. I'll come back with a pair of channel locks and tighten that up a little more later on. Okay, so the next step then is to reconnect the plunger to this little down rod here. Remember, we had this little clip which then goes around this down rod here. So now this rod, pull it up and down, will move the plunger up and down, as you can see. Okay, so our P-trap's all cleaned out. Vertical drain is all cleaned out. The rod is connected back to the stopper. We're going to put our P-trap back together. That goes up like that. This rotates back so you can fit this piece in. And then you just retighten them up, making sure that those little compression gaskets seat inside of the fittings. And then you see this is very adjustable. We'll just retighten everything. And as you retighten it, you'll feel the compression gaskets create the seal and start to make everything nice and rigid. You know you got a good seal. Now we'll come back and check to make sure that this nut here is tight enough to compress this rubber gasket so we don't have any leaks. Have to get a pair of channel locks for that. But we're back together. So that's it. Now we can turn the sink on and see how she drains. Okay, so everything's back together. Moment of truth, we're going to fill the sink back up. First thing we'll do is check to make sure that the stopper works. Seems to move pretty nicely. Good amount of travel. Create a stop, create a seal. Sink is filling. Let that fill a few inches. Turn the water off, and let's see how fast it drains. Look at that. That thing drains like a champ. But that was a pretty massive plug we took out of that straight drain. So Last thing to do, we'll turn the water back on. We'll come underneath, check for any leaks, let it run for a few minutes. Make sure all the fittings, oh yeah, a little leak here, so we gotta tighten this up a little more. Got that a little loose, so we'll tighten that up. Let's stop that leak. This is tight, that's tight, that's tight. And there we go. Problem solved. So there you go. Thanks for watching. This is John from Trustworthy Home Advice. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and follow our blog at trustworthyhomeadvice.com.